So most of your average churchgoers, they think that their Bible is divided into two parts, Old Testament and New Testament. It's actually divided into more parts than that, because there's a section called the Apocrypha. Now, what the Apocrypha is, it is the final vision, the apocalypse, the revelation given to the sons of Elohim. Those would be human beings that have been anointed, who have developed a personal relationship with the Creator, and we're aware of them, they're called prophets. The people look to them, they respond to them, so they govern the people. They are kings. Even if there is a king over the nation of Israel, that king still looks to the prophet, subject to the prophet. So you may have the king of the world, then the king of this or that country, and then the king of, and they'll have different names. We'll say president, whoever, the guy behind the mask who goes by a number, who all the governments of the world bow down to. He calls himself a king. But then you have your governors. So king is an ultimate authority for a set group of people. So they are kings. Every one of them. That's what I'm given to say. Every one of them. So these kings, Abraham, Moses, all of the prophets, listed in the Apocrypha part of the Bible. So that usually falls under the minor prophets, because the major prophets, they have their interactions. The Bible is a history, more like a cliff notes or outline. And then the Apocrypha, which they call the minor prophets, has basically been removed from the Bible. We have the Apocrypha or apocalypses of all 12 sons of Jacob. They are there. They're just not included in your scripture, and they're not included in the Jewish Torah. So, both sides. It's like we have this unholy trinity. Jews, Christians, and Islamists. It's an unholy trinity devoted to basically the idea of a God of Abraham. So, back to these apocryphas. In these apocryphas is where you find out what happens after you die. It's too late for that. That's our last concern right now. What happens when you die? We are moving on to 5 minutes to the resurrection. What happens at the resurrection? There's going to be a resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous. So you shed your mortal form, that which can die, and you're left with your immortal form, that which cannot die. So it's spelt out very clearly in Enoch and other apocryphas that when you die, if you die unrighteous, then your spirit, like the Nephilim, wanders the earth after 7 days. And during that 7 days, the unrighteous experience 7 woes. They see what they did wrong. They see who they wronged. They see the woe that's coming to them when there is the resurrection. When the righteous die, their spirits experience the 7 blessings. They see the future, everything that's going to happen, and they see, how they've blessed people, how they've been blessed, and then they're brought to where the ancestors rest. Now the resurrection. You can do the research. People, they can take your regular old Bible, the way that you have it, King James, the Tanakh for the Jews, and they can prove to you that you're basically zombies. Okay? The unrighteous, resurrected zombies. Gonna live forever, undying in this form that their unrighteousness brought them to. So if they're old, decrepit, they're resurrected to that form. And then the righteous are resurrected and they get a glorified form. So they shine. They get beautiful. And the apocalypse of Baruch spells it out exactly and precisely. There's going to be the resurrection of the righteous and unrighteous in the forms that they last lived in. This is so that they can recognize one another. This is where the saying, and the first will be last and the last will be first, is a corruption of what it says in Baruch. That is supposed to say the first will rise to see the last whom they were expecting. So everybody, you'll read it in all of these apocrypha. They also, well, what about the people of the end? What about them? And then they're told of this generation that will rise up, that will be righteous in the end. And they will be cleansed. So the book of John, the revelation of John, that's his apocrypha. That's his apocalypse. That is the vision he was given and how he experienced it. Everybody's going to recognize one another. And then we will all watch one another transform. And this is the part that just really, 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 really got to me. You're going to see those that you love and that you tried to work with, and their forms are going to slowly deteriorate because they're suffering from the realization that it's good. They're going to know everything that we did, every word we said, every effort we put into trying to help them and see life in a better way, in a more loving way. And their forms are going to slowly deteriorate, and they're going to have to go off away from the righteous, who are going to, the form is just, I've seen the form, I've been blessed with seeing the form, and it's a body shaped like light. And you can still be able to change their form if they want to. They're just complete freedom and beauty, and they will never age. It is beautiful and wondrous, and I've been given assurances, but I still pray that I be faithful to the end, because it's a beautiful thing and I want to be a part of it. it's still painful because the people around me that I love, I mean, we're going to see our children again. People that we've lost. That grandmother that we loved. And we're going to see their faces. And we're going to watch them go downhill as we're separated, because the gulf will be so wide, and then we will never remember them again, because we will never remember the evils of this world again. They will not be in our mind. So we're beyond worrying about what happens when we die. We are closer to the resurrection, some of us, than we are to our own deaths, okay? And I say closer to the resurrection than our own deaths because we have the foresight. We can see, we can know that the resurrection is that close. And when we see and we understand, we are one with that time and that place and that event. And so we say that it is upon us. The kingdom of heaven is upon us, because I see it, I know it, I understand it, I feel it, I experience it. So the kingdom of heaven is upon me. And the resurrection is upon me. And so, in that way, I am closer to it than I am to the death I must suffer first. Or experience first, because when it comes to, I don't fear death. I only fear the pain that may cause the death. I would rather be like the righteous. They're told, you're going to go the way of your ancestors. Now go give the people this message. And come off to this place and we'll talk. And so you visit with the Creator. You lay down and you don't wake up. The righteous, they've got the whole package. They die quietly, peacefully, in conversation with the Creator. It's like being sung to sleep. As they receive all the information, and our Creator eases their fears and reasons with them and explains things to them like little children in their father's arms. They'd go to sleep. And I'd like to have that. But we're in a time when the woes and the evils are going to come upon the righteous and the unrighteous with no respect to persons. And the people that we can't get through to, we're going to see them again. But it's not going to be all joy and happiness and reunion. We're going to see what's going to become of them as they're removed from our presence. And for our enemies, that's where the prophecies that He will set a table for us before our enemies. And yes, our dearest friends are our enemies. They want to talk us out of it. They may not say it to our faces. They may humor us, tolerate us. It looks like they're just, oh, that's what she believes. She's just different. It's okay. She's my friend. She's a really good person. But in their hearts, in their minds, and in their private conversations, yeah, I wish she would stop talking about that. Yeah, I wish she wouldn't make that choice. I wish she would just be content where she is. I wish she could just live like us, because she really is a good person, and I feel good around her. I feel good about myself around her. But I don't feel good about myself and what I do and how I behave and how I speak and the choices I make when I'm not around her. So I really wish she wasn't the way she is in that way. And they're going to be taken away. And it's better to deal and accept with it now. Accept it now. Because if you're falling apart and you're like, that's my friend, no, don't take it. Oh, you're resurrected to this beautiful form. You're going to go with your friend. Because that's just another trial. It's another tribulation. How are you going to respond when you see them taken away? Deteriorating, suffering. There's not going to be any saving them from then. It's too late. So these are the things that they don't tell you. This is why those books are not in the Apocrypha where they belong. And half of that is because the Creator allows it. You want to think without regard to Him? Then you're not going to think of the future with regard to Him. That's why you're given false prophets. That's why you're given these near-death experiences. And they're allowed to stand. Just look up NDE, near-death experience, on the internet. It's overwhelming. It is overwhelming. And they'll tell you about this person, Jesus. If they were truly righteous, they would tell you about Yeshua. They would tell you about His Father. That name that the Jews won't say. Because it's been taken from their lips. Take my name from your lips. You are not worth I do not want to hear my name cross your lips. That's how disgusting. And anybody who's ever had somebody walk in the room like, oh, every time they say my name, oh, I cannot stand it. Do I have to work in the same environment as this person? Do I have to be related to this person? Oh, when they say my name. That is why our Heavenly Father, He will let people call they'll think they're talking about Him. They're not. He's taken His name from their lips. They're not allowed to say it because them saying His name is just like that person you cannot like. I wish they never even learned my name. That is how the Father feels about the majority of mankind, especially those who believe that they preach about Him and know absolutely nothing of Him whatsoever. And people say, well, we can't know it all, and that's true. I will stand by that. There are times when a topic will come up and my mind is blank. I don't have all the answers. But you know what? I am constantly, perpetually connected to, like an umbilical cord, in a state of oneness with our Father who has all the answers. Do not worry about what to say, because it will be given to you. I don't have to worry about what to know, because it's given to me when I need to know it. And people have looked in my eyes and they've seen it. It's like, that you didn't know that. That just came in. I could see it in your eyes. That just came. They were seeing the divine light answering them in my eyes. Unmistakably, irrefutably. And then their next feeling is regret. because they profess to be such worshipers of the Creator. And they had been treating me like shit. And so it is. Get you some real Apocrypha. Not that Obadiah and Micah are not real Apocrypha. Just what is called Apocrypha of theirs is not the fullness of what they brought for their people. It's not the fullness of their Apocrypha. It's a glimpse. It's what's leading up to the end and not what happens at the end. And that is because that is usually a gift for the righteous. He lets all his prophets know. And when he says that, he does not lie. He doesn't lie about anything. Look at the world around us. Every single thing he said was going to happen at this time is happening around us. It's about to be upon us. If you still have internet, use it to learn more, because it's going to be gone and nobody's going to be around you to provide the answers as to what's happening and what you should and should not be doing. You got a bunch of survivalists that'll tell you, stock up on this, carry this tool, learn this art, learn everything that we learn will be useless to us. Time and time again. I'm like, well, my circumstances never last very long, so I'm gonna get an apartment, and so I'll start accumulating things for moving to an apartment. Boom, I'm on the street. Well, that's it. I'm only ever going to prepare a backpack of what I need to live on the street, and then boom, I have an apartment. He persistently made it so that I could never plan for my own future. And no matter how forethoughtful I thought I was, because I was living apart from him, anything that I did to prepare would be useless. But then, as I drew closer to him, he gave me what I needed to last exactly for the amount of time I spent somewhere. And then, new circumstances, new set of resources to last for that period of time. So, yeah, he's perfect in all his ways. He prepares us. He will have for us what we need when we need it. And he'll even use us to be able to provide for the people around us. I've seen it. I've been put homeless, but I got a few $100s. I can help somebody else out for food. And then I've still got $50 left when my circumstances change and my new income starts. So, as I drew closer to him, that's how things changed. And we're really, like, people, they're stocking up. They got 10 years supply, a bunch of ammo, all the fire making skills. They're teaching their children. They're teaching all their neighbors. They got their farms. They've got their greenhouses. They got their livestock. And I'm just going to be where I am with what I have, and we'll be able to offer a bowl of soup to somebody. So, there you have it. The end. It's upon us. It's here. And people, they see it, but it's not registered. Like, they have no room for it. They don't want to believe it because they have plans. They still have things that they want to accomplish in the system. They'll tell you about their plans for retirement. Oh, the parents are getting old. Oh, after they go, I'm going to go do this, this is my plan, and they're still dreaming of it, imagining it, and they're seeing what's happening, and you're telling them it's time to prepare. It's time to remove from the people who aren't going to have your back in emergency circumstances and be only with people who will. And they just brush it off. Oh, no, that's being dramatic. One generation. Like, my father was in Vietnam. Okay? But there's been no war on our soil. And so unless they were sent away to war, in the United States, we have not had war. There's a whole bunch of Europe that has not known war. And it's upon us. But we can't fathom it because we're too busy neglecting our veterans who won't share their stories, or we don't want them to share the stories. We don't want to hear about it. You see somebody with a leg. Oh, how did it happen? No, not a child, usually the one to ask, what happened to you? The adults are like, I don't even want to know how that happened. I don't want to hear that story. They see them on the streets. Homeless people. I don't even want to know how that happened. That's just, you see that homeless person on the street? You? Who does not heed these words? That is you. Because you will be homeless. Because you will have no home in the kingdom of heaven when it relocates itself to earth. That which you detest, you will become. And the righteous who have loved you are gonna have to watch it happen before you're ushered away and they will see you no more. And you will be forgotten. It's heartbreaking.